Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson warn of consequences if Trump admin is withholding Epstein information. It's a video by Soy NN.
Quote, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? That post by Elon Musk this afternoon gets at a serious question, prompted by MAGA fans, among others, after the Justice...
Chat, am I a MAGA fan? Got a lot of comments. Don't tell me Philion went MAGA. I'm just after truth.
Department asserted in a memo that convicted sex offender and multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein did not blackmail high-profile clients, was not murdered before he was found dead.
I swear to God, I have the most default, baseline, human common sense logic. And there's a lot of slugs among us, and they just can't handle it. Me? I'm never wrong.
In his jail cell in 2019, and in fact had no client list. Despite the fact that the very same administration officials are now asserting there is no there there, many of them were the ones ginning up the controversy before President Trump was reelected and while they were in office. The Justice Department memo, first obtained by Axios, also comes 1 month after the billionaire Tesla founder took to his platform X as his alliance with President Trump dissolved. Quote, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason why they have not been made public, unquote. Musk deleted that post 2 days later, but the
absolute bombshell tweet by Elon Musk. Not alleging, but stating Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. Now, I've always been aware of the fact that he may or may not have been close with Epstein. A lot of people on the left like to think he's a turbo gooner like Diddy. I'm not of that opinion. A lot of people were his clients and were on the flight logs. But crossing that line, I mean, Elon Musk himself has that picture next to Ghislaine. He likes to glaze over that one, call it a photobomb. Listen, I don't know how these billionaire elites operate. I don't have intel into that world just yet. But if I ever do, I'll be sure to let you know.
A new memo has Musk posting this meme, among others. It's a guy putting on progressively more clown makeup with the text, we will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list with full clown regalia. The desk part refers to a February clip. The list is on my desk. A February clip from Fox that was played of Pam Bondi. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But here was Attorney General Bondi earlier.
It's sitting on my desk to review. What is the defense for that one? The all-encompassing client list, meaning the files, just chilling on the desk? Full clown regalia. I like that.
Clear today.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk.
She says she was talking about the entire file, not the list. You see, I would buy that, except for the generational fumble that casts a large shadow on the entire debacle. So now I don't trust anything.
Desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Trump was asked about the memo today by a New York Post reporter, and he expressed indignation.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey?
We watched this clip and broke it down yesterday. I didn't like it. Super sus. If this was a game of Among Us, you know who I'm voting for.
Epstein? This guy's been...
Rather, I'd put a yellow card down on the field. I'd call a boardroom meeting, is all I'm saying.
Talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas?
You know the meme of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? When Leonardo DiCaprio whistles at the TV? And points at it? That's exactly what I did.
We have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Mr. President,
if Trump was on the list, Biden would have used that. Biden doesn't even know where he is, so that's wishful thinking.
The reason people are talking about this guy is because people serving in the highest levels of your administration have been talking about this guy for years and talking about how the Epstein list needs to be released. Here's then Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance in October 2024.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Peter Thiel would never allow that. Right, J.D. Vance? Oh.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Here's Kash Patel on a podcast just over a year before he became FBI director.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Dan.
Yo. I gotta say, CNN kinda winning me over right now. This is sharp, concise, and to the point.
Bongino, a former Secret Service agent turned right-wing podcaster, is now the FBI deputy director. Here he is on his show in February. He was named deputy director just a few weeks later.
I think I'm about to vote for Bernie Sanders and AOC. Zohan Mamadami? Communism? Socialist Phil? Might have to happen.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go, ever. Ever.
I think he let it go.
Bill Clinton's spokesperson released a statement in 2019 saying that the former president, quote, knows nothing about the terrible crimes. We should note the presence of one's name in the files does not mean they were involved in any way in sex trafficking or having sex with any of Epstein's victims. Here's Alina Habba, now interim U.S. attorney.
But what does the client list entail? Is that in regards to trafficking?
For New Jersey. This is her in February.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking.
I feel like a red dot was just slightly off screen there. Look at her reaction. You see those micro adjustments in the eyes? Nothing gets past my 3 eyes. Do they think we're sleeping or something? Which is why today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding customized to fit your needs, conveniently shipped in a box right to your doorstep. You don't even have to leave your house. The Helix lineup includes 20 unique mattresses to choose from, and Helix just released their new mattress toppers, so they have a sleep solution for just about everyone. I've been sleeping on Helix mattresses for over 5 years now, and at this point it's just standard protocol. I can't settle for anything less than the best when it comes to my sleep. Between working out, screen maxing, and making endless content, my mattress needs to be perfect, which is why I was matched with the Midnight Lux. And ever since I moved, I had to upgrade from a queen to a king. Everyone's different, and Helix knows that. That's why they designed a sleep quiz that helps match your unique body type to your sleeping preferences. This way, you can find the best mattress for you. Helix mattresses are spiritually more than just beds, because we spend more than 1/3 of our lives sleeping. That's a lot of time honk-shoeing, and perhaps honk-shoeing me, which means you need to be taking your sleep hygiene seriously. And at the end of the day, I'm just looking out for you. I want you to have the sweetest dreams you possibly can, and that's with the help of a Helix mattress. But if you guys are nervous to buy something that you haven't tried yet in person, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial so that you can test it out for yourself and make sure that you love it. I love Helix, and I think you would too. If you're in the need for a new bed, check out Helix. Go to helixsleep.com/Philion to get 27% off site-wide with their 4th of July exclusive partner offer. Or just click on the link down below. And thank you to Helix for sponsoring this video.
I don't see how it's not shocking.
I'm shocked that none of that's been released. In February this year, Attorney General Bondi teased the imminent arrival of the Epstein files, and President Trump's eldest son, Don Jr., posted about the news, quote, LFG. Let's fucking go! An acronym for Let's Effing Go. A week later, the Trump administration invited a slew of conservative MAGA influencers to the White House, purporting to give them a first look at a batch of documents labeled the...
I don't think it's protecting people so much as it's us using the list to blackmail people. Now that is an interesting take. I just don't think I have that much trust in our government being that based. Are we not releasing it because we're just saving it for a rainy day?
Epstein files, phase 1, but...
Yeah, do we skip phase 2 and 3? These laminated binders, what the fuck?
None of it was a smart.
Second of all, why did nobody send me this binder? Why am I always finding out about shit mad late to the party? Here at Third Eye Global, we're running a tight ship. I mean, nothing really gets past us. You got the soy version of Philion in the back.
Smoking gun, the vast majority of the information had already been made publicly available. CNN's Evan Perez reported in March that Attorney General Bondi directed FBI agents...
The dude on the right, this guy, he is the gay man who got a lot of votes for Trump in Pennsylvania. I forget his name. Scott Pressler.
Well, CNN's Evan Perez reported in March that Attorney General Bondi directed FBI agents, in some cases, to drop their work on China and Iran and...
Is he really gay? Yes. I'm not using that as an insult. I'm using that to describe how people know him.
Focus on redacting the files before their release. Remember, Trump made part of this his platform. Here he is during the 2024 campaign.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going
on? You just need a little bit more oomph, my guy.
Well, experts such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering Epstein for years, say that the notion of Epstein having an easy-to-access client list is likely a red herring. And that's what the Trump administration is relying on, that there likely isn't a list per se.
I get that. I just want some actual clarity on the statements here, because nothing adds up. No one's getting their story straight.
But they are also now relying on the fact that because it's MAGA influencers who often put forward so many falsehoods, legacy news media won't push the point, that while there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released. There's a trove of information that the Trump administration is right now refusing to share. Information that could well point to the powerful folks who availed themselves of the sex trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein. If you go, for example, to the FBI vault online, you can see that there are 22 files containing thousands of pages. Most of them are heavily redacted. Now, sure, of course, redact the names and identifying characteristics of the victims. But why not make the victim testimonies public? As Julie Brown points out, there's still so much we don't know from the investigations by U.S. attorneys in Miami and in New York, witness interviews in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New Mexico. Brown writes that there's still more evidence that hasn't been published, including, quote, Epstein kept video cameras in most of his residences.
I just can't believe the fact that they put him in a cell with a trend-out ex-cop guilty of quadruple homicide. Huh? Hello? Second of all, it is a known fact that every single one of Epstein's residences was rigged out with intelligence-level surveillance. Why?
And Epstein's autopsy, nor the report of the investigation into his death, has been made public. So while there may not be an official client list to be released, as the administration is now saying, there's a lot of extra information that is not being made public, despite Trump's Justice Department basically now saying case closed. This isn't going to go away.
And Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of...
I'm literally tuckering my Carlson right now.
Kids getting abused. I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I've told you. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped?
Yeah.
Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This is the Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
All right, Jamal, what do you think hearing that from Tucker?
Well, first of all, Tucker is being dangerous by alluding to something like a revolution when we're talking about the MAGA people, because we know.
A revolution, huh? I'm gonna lead a revolt. Nothing ever happens. What is there to do? We're already slaves. There's microplastics in my balls. There's seed oils in my skin.
That MAGA forces have been willing to use violence in pursuit of their political aims. We saw it on January 6th. You know, Gretchen said something a second ago about is Trump covering for Pam Bondi. But the question also may be, is Pam Bondi covering for Trump? We just really don't know. Donald Trump has been very...
By revolution, they mean Twitter discourse for a week. Yes. Just long threads of conspiracy theories for people to sell shitty supplements or a course on X. I can't wait to read all those.
Forceful, he's a great television performer. When the question of Epstein comes up, every time he dissembles, he attacks the reporter. Remember before, he'll release the UFO files, he'll release...
Aliens aren't real. UFOs are cringe and cope. Congratulations, you fell for it again.
The JFK files. Will you release the Epstein files? Well, I don't know if we should, do that. Innocent people may get wrapped up in that. I just think something's going on here. We got to keep asking the questions until we find out what's really happening, and they should just release the files.
I mean, right. I mean, that seems to be the point, Gretchen. At this point, and this is something that has been spun up.
Chat, let's think about this. Are we looking for something that doesn't exist? What if they're honestly telling the truth? Why would they lie?
Right, by some of the very people who are now saying, I mean, when Kash Patel and Dan Bongino came out recently and tried to downplay the Epstein files, they were eviscerated by the MAGA base, right? And now this is putting the whole thing on steroids. Far-right activist Laura Loomer, Gretchen, we know Trump listens to her. She has been hammering Pam Bondi on social media. She posted, "How come we can't talk about what a dumb, lying bimbo Pam Bondi is?" J.D. Vance, please encourage President Trump to fire Pam Bondi. She's a disgrace. So what do you hear when you hear...
There's going to be some people who can't read through my satire and actually think I got one-shotted by the idea that the government would ever tell the general populace the truth.
Hear this? I mean, look, Laura Loomer, we know, has had very specific, tangible influence on Trump on big decisions.
Yes, in national security, specifically in the last few months. I do think she has Trump's ear. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Trump seemed to be protecting Bondi today. But I think one other really important point is in this second administration, we have seen a lot of MAGA supporters of Trump come out and be totally against him on really big issues. And what I think is fascinating is that he can go after people who are in groups, like lawyers, like members of Congress. I'll primary you if you don't agree with me. But with these single influencers, he's not doing that. And I think that raises a huge question about whether or not he has the power to actually silence them.
Right, and Jamal, I guess the whole question is there really no there? Or is the question, who is covering up for whom?
Do you guys think the MAGA base is just a parasocial audience that is easily manipulated? Or do you think it's leftists throwing shade and calling it groupthink? I guess two things can be true.
That is the question. Listen, what is sobering is that Donald Trump, if this were normal times, Donald Trump, he's turned around on Ukraine, and there are people in MAGA who are upset about that. He was in this relationship with Elon Musk, who's now turned on him, who wants to start a party.
I just hate that there's not another option. Like, there's MAGA and then what? Soy? Woke? What's the opposite of MAGA?
And so that could
I need an all-encompassing term to blame for everything. Gay?
We peel off people. Now we've got the Epstein files, or all these things that would normally take down a regular politician. Donald Trump seems to be able to survive these things. I mean, he's such a political force, it doesn't really matter. But what does happen is the people around him are the ones who catch the brick. And so the question for Pam Bondi is this going to limit her ability to either be an effective attorney general or to even keep her job?
I think both sides are cooked. The only rational stance is to realize politics is rigged and you don't have much choice. Believing any side is not wise.